there. I've got a Shadowbox card using the In the Garden set with all the little bits that come with it. So I will show you the pieces that we'll be using. Going to be doing some embossing with the Leafy Montage embossing folder. It's an A4 size. And we also are using the delightful Daisies. And this is the Shadowbox In the Garden with all the little pieces with it. And I've picked up the Art Deco alphabet, the lowercase, to do some words in there too, and a little bit of inking with some antique linen distress ink. Pop those back there. We'll start straight away with our embossing. I've got a piece of milk card, and it is 5 inches wide by 6 1/8 long. And I'm just going to pop it inside of our Leafy Montage and move my cutting plates. Pick up the raspberry adapter. There we go. Okay, let's take that. There we go. And you can see it's got a beautiful emboss, but I want to give it just a tiny bit of antiquing. So I'm going to bring in the antique linen and a smoothie, and we'll just pick up a bit of color, just rub it around, just to sort of highlight that leafy pattern a bit. Very, very lightly over the top. You could even use a light gilding wax, like an enchanted gold or something, if you want it to have a little bit of a sparkle to it. There we go. Tiny bit more. Okay, that's good enough. Pop that to the side. Now I have cut out the Shadowbox out of craft card because I wanted to give this card a really rustic look. So I've put the mounting foam on the back. Let's peel the backing off, and I've got all these little individual boxes layered with the mounting foam as well. And last one. Okay, we'll pop this into place on the back. There we go. So you can see your leaves kind of popping through that. Now I've done a base piece for it using the milk card and the craft card, so I'll go ahead and put that into place. Just going to use a little bit of glue here. There we go. Pop that down, and we'll let that set up for a second. So now I'm going to just do a little bit of cutting. Bring back our Shadowbox with a couple of the different pieces, and I'm going to cut one of the little pots to show you, and also the daisies. We'll pop them on here as well. Go ahead and cut all of these. I think I'm just going to try to sandwich that just like it is. See if I can get it without any tape on it. There we go. Living dangerously. Okay. Now, one of the things that I've done with the daisies, and I think this works really well in general with craft card, is I've used colored pencils. I just love the way it looks together. So let's pop this out. And I'll just do a couple of these just to show you what we've done. The pot, and we definitely put those back in the little places they go. And where'd my other one go? Oops, stuck underneath there. There we go. Pop those back. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to bring in my white and just put it onto the petals, and it just looks lovely on craft card. Bring out just a bit of the detail on the actual flower petals there. A little bit. Down on here. There we go. Let's bring in a leaf. You can add in some stem here, a little bit of green, just to give it a highlight. There we go. Cross that down. And if you have one like this where there's a center of the flower, you're seeing the full face, you can go ahead and bring in some yellow into that center and then add your petals in as well. So you can do all your flowers like that. I've got some I've done ahead of time. The little pots are really cute, done in kind of a terracotta look. So I'm going to bring over some of the, this is like a pumpkin orange color. Just give it a little bit of a color across the lid, or the lip of it, down and around. Oops. There we go. You can go back in with a little bit of a darker color and shade it. Add in a tiny bit of detail to it. Bring your white back over. A little bit of shadow to it. Just sort of blend these back and forth. You can add in some darker gray in there. Give it a real garden-y sort of look to it. So what I've done is I've done 3 of these ahead of time. And I've just shadowed them a bit like that. So I'll go ahead and put them into place. I've added a bit of mounting foam. Now the 2 on the outer edges I'm just going to put in by themselves. And the one in the middle, I just wanted to do something a little bit different, so I added some individual little leaves to it. Okay, so you have the same sort of look, but it's just got a little sprout coming out of the top of it. Pop that right into the middle box there. And with the alphabet, I've cut the word garden. Now, what's nice about this alphabet is it's got an Art Deco style to it. And your G, your D, your P, and your Q all have sort of a similar look to them. So if you need to change them around, like this is actually the P, and I just needed one that was a little bit shorter, and the D has a little hook on it. So you can actually kind of mix and match and get it all to work with whatever size you want. So we'll pop them into place, and then I'm going to add a little bit of accent to them as well. Use a little bit of glue on these. Put the G in first. There we go. Get it nice and centered. And if you use your pokey tool, you can kind of move it around a little bit before it sets up. Go back with the, oops. Back with the A. If you have tweezers, it's really easy to do with a pair of tweezers to hold on to these two. Pop that down. And it's a fairly tight fit to get this word in there, so you want to get it kind of close to each other. Do the R. Get the top. Pop that down. The D. Get that one in there. And the last 2 letters here. Pop that on there, and we'll get the pokey tool and straighten all those at the end. There we go. Put that into place, get that poked down, and bring back the white pencil, and you can add a little bit of accent to these. And they've got a sort of a dotty pattern to them if you want to emboss it. You can do it in dots or just go over the top like I've done here. It just gives it a nice little rustic feel to it. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I've got the word friend, and I'm going to cut a shadow for that. And I'm just going to use a little bit of the brown card here. So let me bring in my friend die. And I think I'll just put a little piece of wax paper between that. That should be okay like that. Give it a quick cut. Oop. Popped right out. Let's see. Get a hold of this one. Just give me a second to get it. It's got a lot of little swirly bits with it. Gently, there we go. So I want to offset the original word, so I'm just going to use a little bit of spray glue for speed. Give that just a hair of a shadow. That'll help show up a little better. And then I've cut a couple of the little tools that go with it. So what we're going to do is put some glue on the back, and then I'm going to have the tools coming out of the little swirly part. So I'll tell you what, let's use this one. Just a bit here and there. And right under my finger there, we need that section. Okay. Sit that in place. And then bring these in. And I've just colored these with colored pencils as well. A little bit here and there. And you can even put a tiny bit of glue on the handles and just hook them together. And put a little bit on the back. And we're going to seat them right through that. Just so the little swirl from the end of the friend word holds them into place. And last but not least, we've got the daisies that we've colored. So I can go ahead and use a bit of glue on these. In fact, we can even trim them down a tiny bit. Let's take this one off right about there and tuck them into place. There we go. About like that, under the edge. And we've got some smaller ones we can do. I'm going to take and just do a little pruning job on that one. Pop that off to the side, tiny bit more. Right like that. And you can even have it coming out of the shadow box a little bit. And there again, trim that one down. Do a little bit here. And the larger one, let's use this one here. We're going to actually mount this one outside of the shadow box because they don't have to be inside all of the little boxes. Feel free to use all the different space in any way you like. And I just thought that would look really pretty coming up the edge of the box. I also have a few butterflies that come in the set, and they have the wings where you can bring them upward. So we're going to put a little glue on the back of those. And I've used a tiny bit of colored pencil on them as well. A little one here. And we'll seat that right on the top. And I have this little guy, which Americans call ladybugs and English call ladybirds. So wherever you're from, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And we're just going to seat him right off to the edge there. How pretty is that? I just think that's a lovely card you could send to any friend, especially if you have a friend that loves to garden. I think that's so precious. Hope you've enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to look for all of our videos on our YouTube channel.